This episode of Three Black Guys with a Mic is being brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has changed the value game all over again. Today, grab yourself a 4 for $4. A juicy junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT, large fry, 4-piece nugget, and a drink. You can always get it fresh, never frozen, at a participating Wendy's. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Now let's start the show.
First of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of shit.
Sometimes my mama said, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
You said that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one, okay?
Are you drinking, man?
I don't know.
Are you drinking?
I don't even understand how you could even put Common and Bob Marley and Marvin Gaye. And even Marvin Gaye in
I'm
the
saying
same.
Lamont, who's on your iPhone, iPad? Who's in your playlist right now that ain't saying this?
Maynard, I know you a little bit on the right, and Lamont, I know you got that country club lifestyle. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again,
Welcome to another episode of Three Black Guys with a Mic, the urban source for politics and hip hop. This is what we do. We debate politics and hip hop. I'm your host, Spud, with my man Lamont Hayes, marketing expert and music business record executive, whatever you want to call him. He does it all. And political junkie, Maynard Scales from SuburbanBlack.com. Welcome, my brothers. How are y'all? Did everybody have a great Easter? I mean, Lamont, since we've been doing the podcast,
Wait.
we gotten past Santa Claus today. President Trump hosted his first Easter egg roll with the Easter Bunny. I know now that you are convinced that Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny is real. It gotta be.
So here's what that's what I'm still trying to figure out, man, and I need some help. Like the eggs, where do the eggs come from? Because rabbits don't lay eggs.
The Easter Bunny is not just a regular rabbit, my dude.
Oh, so what it's a special bunny rabbit?
It's a special rabbit.
And it comes from the planet Krypton?
See, now you being funny, man. Now you being funny. Dude,
listen, and then you want to roll it all together with the whole Jesus thing, and I'm just confused, like the resurrection, and I'm just saying we mix it all together, so I'm just confused, bro. Like where did this rabbit come around laying all of these different colored eggs?
You're saying that a rabbit laying eggs is unbelievable, right?
No, colored eggs. I mean, because they got to be colored, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he drops off some chocolate at the same time.
You saying that's unbelievable? You saying that's unbelievable?
I just want to go to the farm and see this special bunny rabbit come down.
There's a simple question I'm asking here. Are you saying that's unbelievable?
Yes, I'm not ready to digest that just yet. Yes.
Okay, can I ask another question? A simple yes or no question.
I mean, help me.
Are you saying that it's unbelievable for Mary to be a virgin and give birth to a man who walked on water?
Now, whoa. That might be a little different.
Why?
Whoa.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
I mean, you can. I mean,
okay,
if we don't go this way,
then you can believe in the Easter Bunny then.
Nah, dude, I'm not going for that. I'm just not. Because there was no magically bunny rabbit laying eggs rolling with Mary and Jesus when he was walking on the water. You trying to say the bunny rabbit was walking with him?
No, I'm trying to say that it takes the same level of faith. It takes the same level of dispelling science to believe that.
No. Now, wait a minute now. No, I ain't gonna have you put my Jesus in the same category as the Easter Bunny. Now, we're not gonna do that now. We're not gonna do that.
Why not? Why not?
I didn't do that.
No.
I didn't do it.
No.
I didn't do that. Story of the man walking on water.
No.
Wait a minute. He turned water into wine.
Water into wine.
And as the comedian said, we're gonna keep the party going, right? Bam! Water into wine. You got 2 fish, couple of loaves. Hold up. Boom. We got some more fish and some more bread. Let's get it popping.
Fish fry, everybody getting fed.
That's the Jesus story. That is not the Easter egg bunny story. That has absolutely nothing to do with Jesus and why he rose on the third day or none of that stuff.
So then why does the Easter Bunny come every year? Why does the Easter Bunny come every year when Jesus is supposed to have risen on the third day? Why is that?
Exactly.
Listen, it's the same reason why y'all asses go out and buy y'all kids. Well, Lamont, you don't have any kids. It's the same reason why we go out and we put a damn Christmas tree up and we go out and we buy all these damn Chanel bags and all these different,
Whoa, who's doing all of that?
Chanel.
I'm talking about Lamont right now. And Lamont goes out and buy, Chanel bags and all these presents and so forth and so on. It's the reason why we buy all these different presents for Christmas. The whole reason for Christmas is because it's supposed to be Jesus' birthday. However, America, because this is what we do, we commercialize everything and it's all about the dollar. So we have been trained and taught that on Jesus' birthday, we are supposed to go out and buy presents for everybody to give. It's the same thing for the Easter Bunny and Easter. America has commercialized the Easter Bunny so that way Donald Trump and Sean Spicer can dress up as the Easter Bunny and do an Easter egg roll.
Oh, come on, man. Hold on.
Speaking of Sean Spicer, let's get the show. I'm getting the show started because y'all talk about
Lamont, you hear the conspiracy work, Lamont. It's a conspiracy.
Listen, it ain't no Easter Bunny, and it ain't no
even though today, when Melania Trump, had to nudge President Trump about my man. We doing the national anthem right now. Where you at? You ain't even in your zone. She had to like, yo, hey man, put your dang on hand up on your heart. Put your hand up on your heart. Anyway, speaking of Easter bunnies, Sean Spicer went from being the Easter bunny to the White House, press secretary. I mean, hey man, dreams come true, man. However, he was probably better off being Easter bunny and then the press, secretary, especially now because he decided to say that Hitler did not use chemical weapons when he was referring to Syria. Maynard, let's kick it off with you. Does Spicer need to stop giving SNL content and just go ahead and step down?
This is a two-part answer. Yes, he needs to stop giving them content. Stepping down. The beautiful thing is this, when you have an enemy, let's not say enemy, when you have an opponent and you notice that they keep that they put the weakest player on the team in and they can't guard you, don't you want him to just stay in the game so you can keep scoring on him? I mean, Spicer, he's like the gift that keeps giving, man. No, don't resign, please. We need the laughter. We need the fun. We need to show that while Don Trump said he's going to have the best of the best of the best of the best of everything, that he's going to have extreme vetting, that Sean Spicer is actually the example of all of the opposite of that. He's the worst of the worst. And we need that because if there's nothing that the Don Trump administration will do for you in this world, it's not going to make your life better. At least it can make it just a little bit funnier.
It could damn sure make it more entertaining, boy. Ratings got to be off the chain.
It's hilarious. Look, in fact, from what I understand, the SNL people are they're laying off writers. They were like, we don't even need writers. These cats are doing it all for us. Let me just turn on the Daily Briefing and they just like, Lauren Michaels is kicking everybody out. Like, look, y'all stay away for 4 years. Don't come back up in here. Right. Ain't no checks getting got up in here for 4 years.
And Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
That's the only two people we need for the next 4 years. We don't need nobody else for the next 4 years.
But honestly, in real talk, this is a serious affair right here. You can't make that mistake. You can't go out here and say something. First of all, for some reason, comparing anyone to Hitler is just the death knell of public relations. You should never do that. That's a horrible thing, et cetera, et cetera. And Hitler killed, and it was an atrocity. It was an absolute atrocity. The idea that Sean Spicer called them the Holocaust centers. That sounds like a little. That sounds like the little place on the side of I-75 around mile marker 37 when you pull in to go to the bathroom and get a Snickers bar and stretch your legs and there's a map. You are here at the Holocaust. I mean, what is? They are so tone deaf. I don't even understand them. It's the Holocaust Center. Dude, this is not like hey, come on in. Everyone come into the Holocaust Center. Anybody like a shower? What the hell is going on?
So
with
before
these
Lamont,
people?
because I know you got to get in here, but I got to say the unfortunate part about this situation is that you do have people who can take that content and believe it, right? You have some people who are not educated enough to be able to just take those situations and run. And that's the sad part about what's going on with this administration and just with television, period. And I do just have to kind of give, Trump some credit in regards to the fake news part, because you just don't know what's real and what is fake out here. So for Sean Spicer to say this and it be fake news, and for people to not really go and fact check that situation, you'll have a whole bunch of people out here, running around talking about, yeah, Hitler didn't even use chemical weapons, because they just don't do the fact checking, or they don't go back and they actually do the research on what Hitler did or whatever, the administration is actually saying. But anyway, again, I digress. Lamont, go ahead and get your 2 cents in.
So, and actually, I got 2.5 cents, and this might kind of get us kicked out of the podcast world, because I'm just going to use a quote from Cardi B that I saw on her Instagram the other day in reference to this subject. Cardi B, she used this term gang, and I didn't really know what that meant, right? So I did my little Urban Dictionary.
Now, wait a minute now. You just hated on Cardi B. 3 weeks ago, you were calling Cardi B a slut bucket. You was just calling her a slut bucket.
Whoa.
Did we say slut bucket?
Can we not? Can we not say that again, please?
So here's the deal.
Sorry,
here's the deal.
Ahead.
And I probably did say that, but here's the deal about what Sean said. I just wondered if he made reference to what I would like to call the African Holocaust, if it would have been the same outrage. You know what I mean? I just feel like, what he said was, wrong, but I feel like that gang kind of heard that, and they don't play that. And they really put him in his place, and they put a lot of heat on him. And I just feel like, it's kind of uneven. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if he talked about maybe the people in Haiti that passed over the years through the transatlantic slave trade that made that first pit stop over there. And I just don't know if it would have been the same level of disgust and disdain and problem. So, and again, Maynard, help me with this, because I can't quote it because I don't have it in front of me. But, if we want to talk about sheer numbers, there was a larger Holocaust that happened to another group of people and not this particular group of people. Am I correct?
Let me start by saying, first of all, the opinions and the views of Lamont Hayes
about Cardi B, because I'm Team Cardi B, by the way. I'm Team Cardi B.
Right. But no, I agree, Lamont. I think you can.
Where I'm going, right?
You can look at just even in recent years, you can look at Idi Amin or Pol Pot or a bunch of other dictators. And you can look at the North Korea regime. They have been basically creating a genocide over, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of, slowly killing off their people. But there's something about when you mention the Holocaust that it has a unique
But why, Maynard? Come on. You want me to say it? Why, Maynard?
Hey, man. The views and opinions of Lamont Hayes.
It's Passover, man. It's Passover. Tread lightly. It's Passover.
Okay, I'm gonna
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. No. Let's do it. This is what we do. Let's do it.
No. I mean, because we know, and again, this is not like it's an issue with a particular group of people, but historically we have seen if there is a problem with the Jewish community that is handled, and it's handled quickly, and you say something out your mouth that ain't right, then you're going to get fired, or there's going to be so much heat on your ass that you're going to feel like you want to quit. So in my opinion, I just feel like this is another one of those situations where, historically, even in our community, remember the story, Spud and Maynard, about, when Jesse Jackson made the comment about, wasn't it Hymietown? You remember that?
I recall that Jesse Jackson made a comment about Hymietown. I'm not a part of that.
No, neither am I, but I'm saying.
This podcast, listen, man, hold on, Lamont. This podcast even got off the ground good.
Wait, I thought that was Eddie Murphy when he did Jesse Jackson on Saturday Night Live. Didn't Eddie Murphy didn't Eddie Murphy do Jesse Jackson on Saturday Night Live and he was saying "Hand Me Down"?
Lamont, just go ahead and finish. Lamont, let's mute Spud. I don't
Come
know.
on, wait a minute. Didn't Eddie Murphy say? Isn't there a song that Eddie Murphy did about Jesse Jackson called "Hand Me Down"?
No, he's right. No, he's absolutely correct. No, it's called "Don't Let Me Down." Yeah, he's right.
Don't Let Me Down. That's what it is. Anyways, all right. I'm sorry. I'm digressing.
Don't let me down.
My bad. Go back to it.
So, Lamont's correct that Jesse Jackson made a comment calling parts of New York Hymietown. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was in reference to the basically to Ed Koch at the time and the parts of Brooklyn and Howard Beach, et cetera, where I think it was the Yusef Hawkins whole Howard Beach thing erupted. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but that was a huge incident that caused a lot of problems, and it wasn't an Eddie Murphy thing, Spud. I mean, maybe you don't remember this.
Yeah,
but
this
was a derailing of Jesse Jackson. As we would remember, this is like 86, 87-ish, and it was just 84 where Jesse had ran for president.
Man,
didn't win.
The derailing of Jesse Jackson has been happening since April 4th, 1968. Man, come on.
Whoa. It's time for a break. Jesus Christ.
Jesse Jackson, man. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm digressing tonight. I'm going to shut up. Let me be quiet. Let me play my role.
You know what, man? You on your own right now. It's you. Go ahead, man. Because
I know I'm out here. I'm in the boat by myself. I get it. It's no problem. I can take the heat. But all I'm saying is that what Sean said was wrong. He shouldn't have said it in the manner that he did. I get it. And, I just feel like that same kind of heat needs to be, spread around to other ethnic groups, other nationalities, including my own, of us having the ability when somebody gets out of line for them to get checked the way Sean's getting checked right now. So other than that, I'm just going to keep rowing my boat and see if I can get to the other side.
Let's segue to, Bombs Over Baghdad. Not literally. I mean, that's an Outkast song. But anyways, so last month, President Trump has dropped bombs on Syria, dropped bombs, the mother of all bombs on the ISIS tunnel. And now he tells North Korea today they got to behave. The bigger statement came from Vice President Mike Pence today when he said the following. The era, and Maynard, this is what I want to talk to you about, the era of strategic patience is over. Referring to President Obama's non-confrontational approach to North Korea, President Trump has made it very clear that the patience of the United States and our allies in this region has run out, and we want to see change. We want to see North Korea abandon its reckless path of the development of nuclear weapons and also its continual use and testing of ballistic missiles is unacceptable. Maynard, is this proof that President Trump is unfit to handle the nuclear codes? The era of strategic patience is over. This basically says to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that this president basically says, I have no tolerance for anything I don't want to tolerate. I'm just going to drop a bomb on them anytime I feel like it.
So listen, this is the thing, man. First of all, there's a song with Mos Def talking about what's beef. What's beef is when two cats is talking about what they're going to do with your life. That's beef. This is a serious beef. And China and the United States are discussing on a daily basis what they're going to do with the Kim regime. And China's getting on board, and there's a reason why. China gets a lot of money with the U.S., like $386 billion with a B annually. Each year they can count on about $386 billion coming their way. And they know that North Korea can mess up that money train. Y'all remember the movie Money Train where they were like, yo, nothing. Robert Blake was like, nothing slows down the money train. If people die, then people die. Does North Korea need to be dealt with? They need to be dealt with. This is one area where I don't know what else I don't know what to do. They need to be dealt with because they wilding out. We got some 20, 30,000 men and women in our military in South Korea. We got South Korea right there, and we got Japan, and not far. My sister's in Tokyo right this minute. And so, it's a touchy situation because North Korea has the ability to launch missiles. Now, this is what people think and make the mistake of. They can launch a missile. That means that they can send a nuclear weapon up. No, they can't right now send a nuclear weapon up. They don't have a nuclear weapon at this point they don't have a missile that they can arm with a nuclear weapon and send it anywhere. You see, they had a missile test on Sunday and it failed. They don't have electricity in this country. It's a sham government. We theoretically speaking, what are they going to do? They don't have an aircraft carrier. They can't hit the United States. So we got to do something, but I don't know what the answer is. I'm stuck here. Lamont, what's the deal, homie?
I don't know, man. I feel like Donald is like that bully that, somebody just wants to knock out. You know what I mean? I just felt like I get everything that you said, but I just come from a different school of, you know what, let's just, they're going to do what they're going to do over there, man. But I don't think, him putting what do they call like gas on a smoldering fire is going to make it any better. You know what I mean? So I kind of disagree with you a little bit when you say, we got to do something. Like, tell me what is it that they're doing right now that is a direct threat to the United States of America?
That's the point. They're posing a threat. Am I right, man?
So,
they're posing a threat.
I think the threat is this.
The threat is look, we got nuclear. We're coming. We're creating.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you can't wait until they come up with. You can't wait till they have a nuclear weapon, and you can't wait until they can actually take a nuclear weapon, a warhead, and attach it to a missile that could reach, let's say, Hawaii. I think the opportunity for them to reach California is still several years off. But to reach Hawaii with a nuclear weapon, or Japan, or obviously South Korea, they're attached to South Korea. To reach South Korea, which is our ally in that region, you can't wait until they have the technology and they can do it. At that point, it's too late.
It's kind of like this, right, man? Correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's kind of like, Tupac Against All Odds. At the end of the, song, he says, you told me not to go to war until I got my money right. Now I got my money right. Now I want war. So basically what North Korea is doing is basically saying, I'm getting my money right. And what we're saying is that, no, we're not about to allow you to get your money right first. So we're not about to allow you to get all these nuclear weapons first, or develop all and, do all these tests and, all this other stuff and create all these, weapons of mass destruction. I use that loosely, and then finally we want to do something when you got everything together. We want to put a stop to this before you get to that level, right?
Yeah, I mean, we got to do something.
So what we're going to do, because I'll say it again. I'm glad the way Spud put it in Tupac terms.
Yeah, but here's my question real quick, Lamont. Because today North Korea said that, that a nuclear war could happen at any moment. So it's not like they're scared. I mean, I don't think Kim Jong-un is like backing down. He's not like, saying, hey, he ain't like, a side where he's like, oh no, it wasn't me who, was, putting chemical weapons on my people. That wasn't me. He didn't run. Like, Kim Jong-un's not one of those people where he's about to run. So I guess the question of mine is, or Maynard, do we want it? Or does Korea want it with us?
Well, first, we need to know this. Everybody needs to understand this. North Korea really don't want it with us. They don't. The problem is that Kim Jong-un and that family, that regime, they don't know any better. I think I think at some point they're starting to believe their own press. Like, yo, we really that thugged out. You got to think about this. Syria is at war, and they doing what they doing over there. They're about the size of like maybe close to the size of Pennsylvania. And if you can kind of figure that, which Pennsylvania is a big state. Yo, North Korea is a little bit bigger than New Jersey, which New Jersey fits into Pennsylvania like 12 times. They do have a big army. They don't have electricity in almost all of the country. They got electricity in like one little area. The rest of it is essentially abject poverty. They don't have an aircraft carrier to speak of. They don't have, like they got a few jets. What they have in a few jets is like, that's what we got in a museum in America.
So
they don't
Maynard, let me
really
ask you
want
this
it with
question.
us. They're just too dumb to understand that they don't want it.
So let me ask you this question, because we talked about this earlier about the water and the Easter egg and all that. So is it safe to say that they would be considered to be David and we would be considered to be Goliath?
Yeah, we would be a Goliath.
So
we would be a Goliath in comparison to them. Yes.
So then my next question is, how did that story turn out?
Hold on, listen. That's a beautiful question. No, that's a beautiful question and an interesting analogy. But I'm gonna tell you a secret. The thing is that David had a slingshot and Goliath didn't have much of anything. But the slingshot we have the same style slingshot in spades. And think about it. They got one airline. They're flying planes. Their airline, literally the airline. That the only two airlines serve North Korea. One in China, one from China, and the other one is North Korea, or I think they call it Koryo Air. They are flying planes. It's like going to Cuba, for instance, when you're looking for like Chevys. They're flying like a 57 plane. They're keeping the same 7 or 8 planes up and. They don't have the technology to work out with us.
Yeah, but to Lamont's
point, it's like they not even on. Hold on for a second. They not even on VHS yet. You know what I'm saying? They still on.
Lamont's point. Is it where you get hit? It's not necessarily what you have to hit, right? Because the story of David and Goliath is not in a matter of what David had. It was a matter of where he got hit at. Right? So is it a matter of where Goliath got hit? So is it a matter of where you get hit at?
The problem is you know what? You could be 100% right about that. But North Korea, they can't get a missile off the ground on a regular occurrence. They have more missile tests fail than they have succeed. They can't hit California. They probably can't hit Hawaii. They can definitely hit Japan and South Korea. But we ain't Japan or South Korea. We're America. So what we have that comes out of, we got this thing, right? We got this thing. It's called a stealth bomber. And this plane takes off in St. Louis. And it flies all the way to Iraq, drops its bombs or wherever it happened to be in the Middle East, and it turns around and comes back. It doesn't stop. That's what it does. They don't have a thing like that. We got a thing like that. We got this big thing called a battleship carrier. An aircraft carrier. We got like 19 of them in service. They don't have one. So we really have an arsenal that is so large that we can hit them with a stealth bomber. We can hit them with a nuclear warhead that's launched from a submarine somewhere off the coast of San Diego or somewhere between Hawaii and Japan. We can move ships in place and be like, "Yo, you really want this?" And they might hit a ship.
Man, can I just ask you one last question and I'm done?
Go ahead, man.
So you want me to still believe in this Easter bunny that lays different colored eggs, but you don't want me to believe in David and Goliath? Is what you're saying?
Look, I didn't want you to believe in any of it, to be honest, but we ain't going to talk about my particular religious bent. That's why I asked you about the lady having the baby and she's a virgin. I didn't know.
I just want to be clear, brother, because, again, it sounds like the same thing to me, but we'll see how it turns out, man. I hope for the best for everybody.
All I can say is Chance the Rapper is trying to send a message. He's trying to send a message to Kim Jong-un. You don't want no problems with me.
Yo, I'll take that.
Let's go to a break. We'll be right back right after this. Attention all my cigar lovers. Guess what? Exquisite Reserve has brand new cigars ready for you to taste today. They got new arrivals of cigars right now as we speak. Make sure you go to exquisitereserve.com right now and pick up yourself a box of brand new cigars. Try out the Triumph Sampler, the Genesis Sampler, the Churchill, or the Signature One. And my favorite is the vintage 1991 Quad. Grab myself a box already. Did you? Go to exquisitereserve.com right now and get yourself a box of the new arrivals from Exquisite Reserve. Exquisite Reserve. More than a word, it's a lifestyle. Now back to the show.
You don't want no problems with me.
Hey, man, I really got something to say, man, but, I don't know how. So I want to read a verse from the Bible for you two brothers.
Right.
And I think I texted this to both of y'all, but this shit been on my mind. It's in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5. In the New International Version, it says, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. I just got a problem with that, bro. I still don't know how to. I just don't know how to digest that. I don't care who it is, black, white, Hindu, the whole philosophy of slave or slavery, I got a problem with that. I just do. I don't know why. I just got a problem with it. So hold
on now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a problem with the Bible? Because everything in the Bible is true. It's perfect. Everything. That's what they teach you, right? I mean, you saying that your grandmama is wrong? Are you saying your grandmama was wrong?
That's my point. I did not know that this existed in the Bible. I've out of all of the years of me hearing about giving my tithes and the sinning and all the other kind of stuff, I never heard somebody talk about how, that slaves, you need to obey your earthly masters with respect and fear, and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. I just got a problem with that. I just don't. I need to talk about it. I need somebody to explain this shit to me.
Hey, man.
What?
I think that just goes to show you that the man in the sky, who everybody gives all the praise and love to, that if he's real, if God is real, he couldn't have given this as an obeying, as something to obey. Now,
as
think
a
about what not as it's not a commandment, but
oh my gosh, I can't believe we're talking about this.
No.
He couldn't. So now this is New Testament too. This is New Testament. Now think of what they're saying. This is New Testament. So what if Jesus loved us, right? Jesus loves us, and Jesus wants us all. And then think about all the stuff that's wrapped up into this. Now Jesus loves us, and he's blonde hair and blue eyed, but he came from the Middle East, and Mary was from Israel, born of Nazareth.
Right.
And she looked like a white woman, and all that's all good. She was, and Jesus loves us, and he wants us to just be like, hey, this slavery thing is cool. Don't y'all worry about it. Y'all just need to go ahead and be slaves. Come on, man.
Right. So, man. So, Easter was the other day. And after this, I'm done. We could go. Ever since I was a child, I would always watch the 10 Commandments, right? No, was that I think it was 10 Commandments that was on the other night, right? 4 hours long. Made in 1950, whatever, 60, whatever, cost $150 million way back then. I did not see one black person in the whole movie. Not one. And y'all are, y'all everywhere, but really saying where y'all at, which is y'all really was in Africa. Even when you call the Middle East, why do you call it the Middle East? Because geographically, where is it? It's like, it's just so much, it's shit in the game, bro. And it's just like, I'm not saying that I don't believe, because I do. I believe a lot of different things, but I just also believe that there was a lot of shit that was put in the game. I believe that part on when I saw The Underground, and I heard about how there used to be 2 different Bibles, one Bible for the black people and one Bible for the white people. And in the Bible for the white people, it would say shit like this about slaves, for the blacks. slaves obey your earthly masters with respect and fear. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, can we get off the tithes and the offerings for a minute and let's get on this other shit?
You ain't supposed to question the Bible. What's wrong with you, boy? You gonna go to hell.
Man. Me and my wife was arguing about
Spud told you don't question his Jesus.
All right, man, I'm ready. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me see if I can kind of round this out. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come with it now.
So, the problem that you're having with, I guess, the Bible is the slave words, right?
Yes.
No, it's not slave words. No, it's
a lot. It's a lot. Wait, no, man. He asked me.
It's slavery. It's slavery.
Slavery. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's kind of understand the scenario here. All right, in the context of, everything that's going on, at this time. Okay. So let's go back to Moses. Okay. So under that time, under Old Testament, we're talking about the law, okay? So what Jewish people and, Gentiles or whatever, the whole thing back then was you pretty much obeyed the law. So when Jesus came, it was basically, okay, this is the new way. It's the gospel. It's, the good news, all right? In the entire time, there's always been slavery. So that's not a that's not an unusual situation. Especially under the Roman government at that time, because the Romans pretty much ruled all of that area, Judea, Jerusalem, and, Syria, all of those places, Romans, they ruled that area. And so Romans didn't have any problem with putting anybody in slavery. Now, again, if you go back to Egypt and, Herod and all those other things, slavery was just a thing of what it was. It wasn't a matter of black, white, or race or anything like that. It was more of, either blasphemy or either just economic status. In regards to Ephesians, Paul, at this point, who was a Pharisee and, was one of those people who did not like Jesus, went after Peter, and his whole mission was to debunk the whole Jesus thing until he was on the road to Damascus and he decided that, well, he didn't decide, but Jesus came and pretty much was going to use him. So Paul wrote pretty much all of the New Testament in regards to, as well as Ephesians. So Paul wrote Ephesians as well as Rome. I mean, I don't know about Romans, but, Acts and, so forth and so on. So from what I understand, from what I think Paul was writing is it wasn't a condone or a condemn slavery. It just was, it's slaves, right? And so it was more of a, you gotta do this, you which is wrong, but you gotta work and obey, or you gotta, what I read, and and again, this was a while back, but what I read was basically you gotta put the same amount of work in as if you were working for Jesus. That's the somewhat of the context of what Paul was saying. So
okay, so let me see if I understand what you're saying, right? You have who is arguably the savior of all mankind, the Son of God, who knows all that is right and all that is wrong, who says there's no way to the Lord but through me.
Correct.
Inspire Paul to essentially not condemn slavery, but to condemn the slaves who won't follow the master. So what you're saying to me is, if Jesus came down and touched a gentleman today in today's world in South Central LA named Paul, he would say, "Hey, Paul, you need to tell those hoes to mind their pimps."
No.
Bullshit.
No.
Lamont, is that?
No.
Lamont, come on. Is that 100? Is it?
No.
Did I just
Basically, what it was.
that ass serious or what?
No. So let me kind of read, you know what I'm saying, the study notes, right? So slaves played a significant part in society. There were several million of them in the Roman Empire, like I just said, because many slaves and their owners, had become Christians. The early church had to deal straightforwardly with the question of master-slave relations. Paul's statement neither condemns nor condones slavery. Instead, it tells masters and slaves how to live together in Christian households. In Paul's day, women, children, and slaves had few rights. In the church, however, they had freedoms that society denied. Paul tells husbands, parents, and masters to be caring. Now, here's Lamont's part. Paul's instructions encourage responsibility and integrity on the job. So this is the part that, he's talking about in Lamont's case. Christian employees should do their jobs as if Jesus or Christ were their supervisors. And Christian employees should treat their employees fairly and with respect. So it wasn't a matter of, you a pimp, which I just saw a pimp the other day on whatever, Joyce Meyer or whatever, and he was out here, I'll be slapping them hoes, and, so he was out there slapping them hoes, and it's the same thing. Again, if you don't got, I don't want to say that part.
But you changed the whole content because you said employees, supervisors. That's the difference between an employee and a supervisor and a slave and a slave master.
It's the same thing back then. It's no different because you got to realize the Roman Empire were the people who actually owned the slaves anyway. So it wasn't like you could go up to the Roman government and say, "Oh, here's my application and resume. Can you hire me?"
This is the question though.
The bottom line of it is.
Hold on. No. The bottom line is.
I'm almost done.
The bottom line is that Jesus Christ is the King of all kings. He's the Lord of all lords. Is that right? And Jesus Christ inspired Paul. And if Jesus Christ had the option, if Jesus Christ is born of Mary in a virgin birth, and he is the Son of God, he is the Son of our Lord, and we in fact changed how we even counted the days, because before him they were called BC, before Christ, and after that, AD, the year of our Lord. We changed the way the world even saw time because of this man, and 70, 80, 90 years after his death, he comes to inspire Paul to say, not that slavery is wrong, because he's the greatest man to walk the face of the planet. He walked on water. Yeah, Lamont said, hold on. Lamont said he turned 2 fish into 50 fish. He turned water into wine so that the party could keep going. He is all powerful. He rises on the third day. And he said, I could do all these things, but I'm going to sell out just a little bit on slavery. I'm just going, you know what? I could fix this, but I'm just going to let slavery go.
Yeah, but Maynard, you're talking about Paul versus Jesus. You're talking about Paul versus Jesus. You're not talking about you're not talking about Jesus actually coming and doing these things. You're talking about Paul, who's writing the book of Ephesians. And his bottom line is you got to do your work with enthusiasm, just as if you were doing the work for Jesus Christ. This isn't Jesus Christ coming down and saying this. Do you know how many people, millions of them, who still wasn't? This is new.
I'm sucking
church.
This, Silky. I'm sucking this for you, Silky.
Hey,
Jesus.
Wait a minute now.
Whoa.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
You cannot buy it all you want to, and that's fine. That's your thing. At the same time, I understand your point in regards to you're saying that Jesus gave Paul the authority to be able to go, but that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Paul went out and spread the word of God on his own. That was his mission. That's what he wanted to do. That's what he decided to do. He went from Saul to being Paul. He went from being a hater of, the Gospels into actually spreading it. So he is actually writing the context of this is the way you should live. I mean, Paul can't, he wasn't one of those people who could turn water into wine. That's a Jesus thing. Even though they had some powers back then, but that's a Jesus thing. So let's not confuse the two of oh, when Jesus went up to heaven, he gave it to Paul and Peter, and then they could just go out and just, perform any miraculous whatever miracle that they wanted to. No, you still had people who still denied the church, people that they were still trying to convert over. So it wasn't like Paul can go and say, oh, go and keep the party going. Paul couldn't do that. So understand, to answer your question, in my opinion, Lamont, when you talk about the word slaves, it's unfortunate that you got to use the word slavery, and I understand how you can put the word slave in a very negative light, but I mean, slaves is just the thing back then. I mean, this isn't.
Stop thinking of them as slaves.
New.
He's asking you to stop thinking of them as slaves and think of them as interns.
So wait.
That's not true.
So again, this is what I.
No, I am not telling you to
That's
treat them as interns.
That's that bullshit. That bullshit
I am not
being brainwashed. That's that brainwashed
foolishness.
foolishness.
That ain't no brainwash. Listen, I'm not trying to tell you to think as slaves as interns. That's bullshit. But you also talking about 69 AD. I mean, we ain't talking about. You went to, it wasn't like these people had the opportunity, man, to be able to go to Specs Howard and be able to get a certificate in radio broadcast and then become an intern, dog.
So they weren't
smart
because they were stupid. Yeah. They should just work the land. Because you don't have education, you don't have the right to your own freedom.
Let me ask you this question. Before you got a master's, you didn't know anything about what was going on in your master's degree before you got a master's. Am I right?
No.
So whatever level of course, that's bullshit. Whatever courses that they gave you for your master's, you were not educated in that level of thinking before you got to that level.
False.
There's no way. If that was the case, you would have just had. How the fuck can you get a master's degree before you even study to even have a master's? That's like you saying, hold
on, Spud. So I had a bachelor's degree. When I came to Radio 1, I had a bachelor's degree in radio, television, and film, mass communications. I have a master's degree in broadcast management. Fucking 70% of the curriculum is just the same. It's just deeper.
But that's just you. That's real talk. But if you told the average person who, if to go to Norfolk State right now, you can't say, oh, you know what? I can give you a master's. All you got to do is know the same shit that you already know. No, you got to take these courses in order for you to be able to get that certificate. So you just can't walk up in Norfolk State and be able to go and walk away with a situation and take 4 classes. It's like we just talked with homegirl. You got to be able to go through the situation. So I don't want to say it's the same thing because it's so not the same thing. But
right,
it wasn't like they had the options of being able to say, oh, look, I'm a pottery. Oh, let me, sew your clothes or whatever. No, that was the situation back then at that time. The same way with us not being able to read. We weren't able to read.
No,
we couldn't read.
There was. That doesn't mean that you're. First of all, it doesn't. What you're saying matters not at all. Zero. A zero. A big fat zero. The reason why is this, because you don't know anything doesn't mean that your service belongs, that your livelihood, that your body, that you should be in shackles and chained to someone. We should just go around here and say, oh, if you're homeless and you don't have a job and that we could just put you out in the yard and just make you do whatever we want to do because you don't know no better. You stupid. No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But that is it.
It's ridiculous.
But that's the way but how? That's been the context that not only African Americans, but during that time, that's what slavery was. It wasn't anything different, dog. How can you say that, oh, you know what, in 1965 that you could go and you can drink at a white water fountain? You couldn't do it. It couldn't be done.
But Spud, let me ask you this question. Again, here's my only reason, like I said, where it stood out to me. I just feel like when I was growing up, I heard so many things about, honor thy mother and thy father. I was told about this book called the Holy Bible, that, that we had this interpretation by this guy named King James, which I later found out it was a lot going on with King James. King James had a lot going on. But anyway, and it's just like, I just missed that part about the slavery piece. But I do understand at that particular point in time in the world that, other things were different. But I also feel like, there were other things that were said again, like, don't covet another man's wife. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill or murder. You know what I'm saying? So it was other things that rules and regulations was being put down in the streets, just like what you said about pimping. But this whole slavery piece, you know what I mean? It's just like we talked about earlier about Sean Spicer. I just feel like, certain things just don't get touched. But if a certain group of people, you know what I'm saying, it gets addressed and it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And that part is just never.
What's the problem with the slavery part? What is the problem with the slavery part?
The problem is this. When you're given the Bible, particularly if you're given the Bible on Sunday, you're given it this way. If you don't know any better, this is what they tell you. Joel Osteen is famous for this. This is my Bible. I am what it says I am. I can do what it says I can do. Today, I will be taught the word of God, which is the Bible. I boldly confess, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so when they tell you, I remember going to church and they say, the word of the Lord is perfect and it shall be blessed. The Bible is the word of the Lord, is what we were taught. We were taught this is it. It's the Holy Bible. To use the word holy in front of Bible is to say that this is to not be questioned. Holy means don't question it. You don't question God. You don't question the Bible. And for you to sit here and tell me that the slaves who essentially represented me, that I am what it says I am, and I can do what it says I can do. So what I'm supposed to be able to take away from this is I am a slave and I can go and work in the field cheerfully, and I should be happy to do that.
Nah,
bullshit.
I don't think
bullshit.
I don't think that that's what it's saying, and nor do I think that that's accurate. I think that in regards to what your statement is, in regards to the Holy Bible, or however it is that you want to feel like you want to, put it, or however you want to put it, I think it's more of a matter of that is the storyline. You can't take away from the word. You can't take away. Hold on.
I didn't put the word holy in front of the Bible.
It's all good. It's all good. I know that, but let me finish. I'll let you finish. Regardless if you want to take away from the word holy or if you want to put the word holy in the Bible, you cannot take away from the storyline. Now, they took Jesus and crucified the man. Jesus wasn't the only one that was crucified. They did that to 500 other mugs, if not even more. That was the landscape of the time. Crucifixion was the landscape of how the Roman government actually persecuted people. You can't take away from that. Now, in regards to no different than today, or if you want to take our ancestors and their slavery, you had what Lamont's point was, a so-called white Bible and a black Bible. You can't take away from that particular part of the scenario. That is what it is. So just like we have black people, white people, government, we got the church and we got Jewish church and we got Muslims and so forth. You can't take away from that landscape of what the story is. And that is the story, no matter what. So regardless
I didn't put the word holy in front of the Bible.
So moving back
that's into, always been there. Lamont, you ever see a Bible in church that didn't have the word holy on it?
But what does it matter if the word holy is on there or not? It's still, regardless if you can question it, if you cannot question it, it still is the landscape of the story. That can't change. You can't question that.
The word. Yes, why not? Why can't you question it?
Why? How can you question what's in the book? That is
there
the
it
book.
Is, and that's why the book. Why can't you question it? Hold on. Have you ever read the book of Ruth? Have you ever read the book of Esther? Have you ever read the book of Judith? All right. So these are books. These are 3 books of the Bible that in the Catholic Church were written in. Others people have decided to take them out. They questioned it and so they said, no, we don't want to put them in there because we don't want women to have a role of authority in the Bible. So there are 3 books that exist that aren't a part of it. Someone questioned it. Man has been questioning the Bible and man continues. Think about this. There was a written Bible And then there was a King James Bible, and then there was a new international, whatever Lamont found that he shared with us today. The idea that these translations and these adaptations keep occurring, they keep changing the meanings ever so slightly, and sometimes they say, "Oh, it's just translating it into a language that we better understand." No, quite often they rewrite the Bible when they make these transitions from one understanding to another. That is questioning the Bible in and of itself. That's a questioning. So why can't I question the Bible? Why can't I question the Bible?
I don't want to give you that, you know what I'm saying, in regards to, you having your curiosity and you questioning it. That's all fine. But regardless of whatever book is in or whatever's in the text, it is the text. That is the landscape of the story. So slaves are a part of the story, period. That is the situation. Now, I can see how you can read that passage and you're only thinking from our history about slavery and the way slaves were treated. But that's from the beginning of time. That ain't nothing. I don't want to say nothing new, but that ain't nothing new, especially under the context of what you're looking at. And I think that before you question it or judge it, you got to look at the entire context of what everything is talking about before you can just say, "Oh shit, we had slaves in the Bible." Well, yeah. Well, shit. Jesus was also, you know what I'm saying, the Messiah, and they still put him on the damn cross. But millions of people actually worship him today. And here it is. The Roman government put him on the damn thing because they thought he wasn't the man of God. The same person in the book of Daniel who said, "Hey, look, the Messiah is coming." And then when he came, they still put him on the damn cross. So you got to look at the entire context before you can just say, "Oh shit, we had slaves in the Bible and that's some bullshit. And the Bible up." No, you can't do that.
I'm done with the controversy, man. I ain't trying to mess it all up for folks who want to believe in Jesus, man.
All right, sorry, y'all. I know we going long and we totally digress today. All right, let's go to a break. We'll be right back. Well, ladies, we hooked you up for Easter. Now it's time for us to hook you up for Mother's Day. Prom season is coming up. Graduations is coming up. And our friend at Touch of Beauty Hair Extensions has got the hook up for you. Everything from the Touch of Beauty Hair collection as well as their Southeast Asian collection. Log on to touchofbeautyhairext.com and grab yourself anything from a single bundle, 3 bundles, closures, frontals, or whatever it is that you're looking for. Everything at Touch of Hair Beauty Extensions is 100% natural. So ladies, get the hookup and look fly for Mother's Day, prom, graduation season, or it's about to be summertime. So you know you want to look good for the warm weather. Log on to touchofbeautyhairext.com. And now back to the show. All right, so welcome back to Three Black Guys with the Mic. I know we all over the place, ladies and gentlemen, but it's Maynard's fault. And it don't get any better from here. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could really help you out. And I really wish that, I just hope that you listen to the rest of this podcast. We truly do. But I know you have to suffer through these next 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Maynard's 5 minutes of fame. Maynard, the floor is yours.
I really can't come crazy this week, man. I really want to. I hate to do this, but it's got to be on a kind of on a solemn tip. I think millions of Americans have seen and witnessed, millions of people around the world have seen and witnessed the horrific acts of a guy named Stevie Stevens, as he murdered a gentleman by the name of Robert Goodwin Sr. For no reason. This act is it's disheartening. I was at the store a little earlier today and a woman said, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And I said, "Fine." And I thought for a moment, like, how can I be fine when I witness a man who looks like me kill a man who looks like my father for no reason at all? And where are we in this world where that's okay? That's not okay. That's not okay. For a man who, I feel for this dude, Stevie Stevens, or whatever his name is. I feel for him that he has suffered heartbreak in his life. He and his girlfriend or fiance, whatever the case may be. I feel for him that he is having a difficult time communicating his feelings and reconciling that in a constructive fashion. That's going to, while it's painful and it's going to hurt, that you have to go through things to get through things. But to take this just innocent man's life, and he's bragged on YouTube and Facebook and other places that he's murdered multiple other people. And there's been no proof of that as of yet. But to take this man's life, or to brag that you will take additional lives because a woman has rebuffed your feelings, because a woman has broken up with you, you are, unfortunately, my dude, that's just less than a man. I hope you get caught. You know, we don't need that kind of thing on the street. I hope that you're safe. I'm not a firm believer in the death penalty and or an eye for an eye and all that. We got to kill him type stuff. I hope you get the help that you deserve, but I also hope that you serve a long and uncomfortable term in prison. That's not cool that you did this to this man. You took this man from his family. He was a father of 9 children, 14 grandchildren, if I'm not mistaken, and he was bothering no one. For you to do this senseless and random thing, and for you to ask him to say, you walk up to him in the video and you say Joy Lane, because this is the reason why this is happening to you. For you to utter those words, you deserve the cactus. You deserve multiple cactuses. You deserve the worst in this world. And that's all I really got. I'm sorry. I hate to bring it down. I can't be funny. It broke my heart to see that, and that's what I got to offer.
Yeah, our condolences go out to Robert Goodwin. I mean, the thing that I do want to add in regards to that is you know, the unfortunate part about social media, and, you know, again, gosh, I mean, as much as I really don't like to give Donald Trump his props, but, you know, coining the phrase, you know, fake news is really relevant in this episode, you know, because there's so many GoFundMe pages out there, and the family hasn't even set up a GoFundMe page, you know, and to have people donate to a GoFundMe page that's not even going towards the family or doesn't have anything to do with the family is just as, you know, I mean, unfortunate. You know, that you got people preying on someone else's tragic loss. And so, you know, just, you know, watch the news, or God, I know that was just like a contradictory because I just said fake news and now I'm asking you to watch the news, but I don't know. I mean, even, you know, they said that, you know, they pinged his information and he was in Erie, Pennsylvania, and that wasn't true. And so there's just so much inaccurate information out there. But, you know, we just hope that, you know, the right information gets out to the people at the time that the family wants. And, you know, that they will, by the time you hear this, you know, that Mr. Steffens will be in custody. And again, our condolences to the family.
Let me add one thing here too. He's a member, or had been a member of Omega Psi Phi, Stevie Steve. I don't remember where they said Steve Stevens. He goes by Stevie Steve on Facebook, I believe, or on his Twitter handle or what have you. And he talks about Omega Psi Phi in the video, and he talks about, you know, college, and he talks about and black men and all different types of things, you know. And I would, you know, I'm not a member of Omega Psi Phi or any fraternity, but in no way I'm certain that I speak for them in some respect by saying what he did is not a reflection on anything that Omega Psi Phi or any of the Divine Nine would ever support or ascribe to, nor should anyone ascribe, you know, and I say this because often when things happen where black people are concerned, then that thing is put across all black people. Like, you know, all black people will do this, but, you know, no one said that all white people do what Dylann Roof did, you know. But we bear a certain responsibility and a certain burden, so to speak, that if one black person does it, that we gotta hurry up and get a message about, you know, black people out there, because otherwise we all sell dope, or we all do this, or we all do that. So What he did, his actions are his actions alone, and none of us in this community stand in support of this man's actions. I'm 100% certain that all people and all the black guys on this podcast for certain condemn this act of violence, this heinous act of violence.
I don't know how do you follow up, both of what you guys said, but I want to say this too, man, because I read this, as they had to look into this young man's life a little bit, and it's funny because they talked about how he made $28,000 a year being a counselor, and how he declared bankruptcy a couple of years ago, and just looking at some of his debts. Because again, I think this is important because I'm asking the question, like, where is this guy? Like, does he have like resources, or whatever? But, they said this guy owned a 2007 Dodge Charger that he owed $21,000 on. And he only made $28,000 a year. He had student loans of like 5 G's. He had like $2,500 on another credit card. So I'm sitting here looking at all of that. It's like, dude, what you saying is a problem really ain't a problem. And even financially, or even with what was going on with this young lady, and for you to do something, and I can't front, man. I teared up a little bit because
I teared up.
No, real talk, because when I saw him do that on that Facebook Live, I'll be so 100 like that. I was like, that's my granddad. I thought about, for him to be the age that he was when he passed. That means this man lived in America being a black man in, I think if I did my math right, like in the 30s, mid 30s.
No. He was 74.
He was 74.
So that means he was born like in 42.
42.
Okay. My father is 70. My father is 72. He was born in 45. So
okay, right. So so that means he saw the 40s, 50s, and 60s in being a black man in America. We just got through talking earlier about slavery, and although he didn't touch those years of time, but it was probably pretty hard, man, being a black dude in like 1947. You know what I mean? And your parents and your grandparents and some of the stories that they had. So for all of the, for him to, Mr. Goodwin, to live through all of that, for his life to be ended like that, like, and looking at this guy and what he allegedly thought he was going through when he really thought he was snapping. I mean, you can't do nothing but shake your head, bro. Like it's something else that I don't know, man. Because I see people.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the one thing that we got to be careful about is that we don't want to misjudge what snapping is. I mean, because that even though his act is just unquestionable, but and totally 100% wrong. I mean, people deal with the issues.
This is not acceptable, but there's no. What Kanye did is unacceptable.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Hey,
I know where he going.
Hey, hold up. I'm just hold on. All I'm saying is that we just want to make sure that we're not, making it we're just not making, I don't want to say not making light, but I just want to just say I don't want for people to think that we're just totally pointing a finger, because we don't know what snapping means. We don't know what that situation is. We don't know what that means to him. So I don't want for his family or whoever, or anybody else that may know him or whatever, just to think like, oh, y'all just is going in on my man, even though we are. But again, we don't know.
Also,
what that
but
means.
also, those are his words.
There's no. That was right, Lamont. Those were his words.
No.
He said that.
He said that on the tape. He said.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold. But
right,
listen,
and there's no level of
we don't know what that means
of whatever he is going through. That we can't. This is bullshit. You can't normalize this. No.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I didn't normalize that. I didn't normalize that. And I just said that. No, I did not. I did not get you to understand that. Okay. No, I did not. I did not say that. What I said was I want to make sure that what we are saying is that we don't know how a person goes off when they so-called snap. What I also said was no, we're not excusing what he did, because what he did is wrong.
There is no at the same time.
100%.
There is no at the same time.
We
There
don't know
is no
what that
ethics.
means
No,
towards
it's
him.
not.
It is something
this
at the
is
same
wrong.
time because
This is
you don't
wrong.
know. It's the
Period.
same thing.
Full
We
stop.
don't know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Full stop.
Listen,
There is no
Lamont just
but.
said this.
There is
It
no
is
but.
wrong.
Stop saying
but
but.
it's also, and
There's
if
no
you
but.
go back, hold on, hold the on, and let me talk. Hold on. Lamont prefaced it by saying he was in debt. He went through this. He had a gambling issues, what the news has said, and so forth and so on. The same thing with Chris Lighty. He also allegedly was $5 million in debt. He shot himself. So you don't know what the situation is or what causes a person to snap is what my point is. So even with Kanye's on the damn thing and he all going crazy and so forth and so on. They said it was his mom or what. You don't know what the issues are that causes a person to snap. So I just was saying that, hey, listen, even though my man is wrong, I'm not justifying his actions, and nor am I ever trying to take up for somebody who shot an innocent man. I saw the video, and it just looked, it almost made me cry as well. And what he did was totally wrong. And yes, I do hope that he goes to jail for that act. But at the same time, we don't know, those situations with his girl, and, all that stuff.
But can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
How he handles those situations.
And I want both of y'all to breathe. And this is just my perspective. This is just 1/3 of Three Black Guys. Of looking at his story of what has been presented to us. And by listening to what he said to someone that was talking to him on his phone while he was still Facebook living, everything that he was going through did not warrant his actions, period. And no.
What the hell?
In your
no, we're stopping this.
Where's that Bible? Where's the Bible? Where's the Bible?
In your opinion.
You can't. There is no
I'm not.
justification.
Listen, I'm just saying. You don't know.
So then it's not
is
an
no
opinion.
justification. But again, you don't know what a person who's going through craziness is. I mean, what they dealing with. You don't know what causes them to snap.
Is whatever he was going through is no cause for him to do what he did. And you said in your opinion,
snap it or not? No, I'm not going.
That's what you said. Did he say that, Lamont? He said in your opinion. There is no justification in any way, shape, or form. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. Then it's not. Lamont.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, so I misspoke. So let me take that back.
Every time
I
you say
misspoke.
however or but or
again,
you
we
are
don't know
negate
what his situation. Regardless of whatever, you don't know how a person handles a situation. I'm not. Trust me. Again, I'm not justifying a situation.
You can punch a wall. You can yell at people. You can do whatever. But to do this, to take this man's life. This is horrible. And then this is the problem. It's not that he walked in and he walked up to this man and he did it. That's horrible and horrific enough that he is so vain that he would record this on Facebook and broadcast it to other people around the world. And then
you know what, Maynard?
That is a heartless coward piece of shit.
So Maynard, so let me ask you this. And here's a question that I asked. In my opinion, because I have a different opinion about when people say people have a mental situation or illness. Because I think like when you harm babies and elderly people, that's a negative to me. Like mental illness or not, you would be addressed. But I just feel like he seemed like that he knew exactly what he was doing. And I said, why is he even in his own community? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why did he do that? And to somebody that looked like him, like somebody that gave birth to him, that gave him life, like why? That's the part. He just didn't seem like that he was out of his mind. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to sit there and do what he did, to plan it out, Facebook Live it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
he discussed it on the way to do it.
So
this kill somebody right now.
Like this was premeditated. Like, so again, I don't know a lot about the mental illness, if that's what it was or whatever. But I just don't think homeboy I think he was in his right mind. I think he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And again, looking at what he had going on in his world, it ain't that bad, Playboy. I almost wanted to be like, you know, if you was my man beforehand, like, why you driving around that Charger and it's damn near 70 to 80% of the money that you bring home every year? How about that? Let's focus on that. And yeah, it may be small and menial like that, but right now because of what he did. But it's just like we all got to make better choices and decisions in our worlds, bro. Like that we don't have to put this kind of stress and strain in our lives and possibly snap. I'm snap, motherfucker, snap. No, dog, that's not snapping. That's something else. So again, you know, God bless. Yeah, God bless his family because you know he's put a spirit over his family that is just as bad, you know what I mean, over his moms, you know, over this young lady who was, like you said, was the fiance or whatever. Like, he did more than just murder another human being. He put a bad spirit on a lot of people, man, that's going to be bad for generations to come. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And I think that the downside is that our society has come to a point where we almost, you know, whether it's World Star Hip Hop or this site or that site, that we have a desire to see acts of violence or people getting beat up or something like this. And now we got what we've been looking for. The days of people screaming World Star every day, now we got it. We got a murder right here live on Facebook. Congratulations.
All right, we out. I know we went way too long, and I know we gotta really digress. But we truly appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you get with us again next Tuesday for another episode of Three Black Guys with a Mic. Y'all have a great week.